Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. I've been doing videos for a little over 10 years now. In that case, a lot of my first videos that still I think have pretty good information in them are not being watched at all because YouTube, they're just too old for YouTube to want to use them, I guess, or put them up on their lists. Also, YouTube is not paying all that well, so hit that thumbs up and subscribe and all those good things. I appreciate it very much. Also, since I've changed the name on my channel, some of those older ones have my old channel name, things like that on, so I'm just going to kind of cut some of that stuff out, cut some of the talking out, and try and make them a little bit better as far as the editing is concerned. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy my older video here. Well, I'm ashamed to say it's all covered back up again here. Hasn't been, it's been a few months since I had this all cleaned off, and here we are back to a whole bunch of boxes all over it. Well, if you ever wondered why this happens to cars that are projects that start out, is a few things that happen. First of all, you get the car in, you're all excited about it, you tear everything apart on it, and money and time and everything gets away from you. Well, that happened to me somewhat. Second thing is the project you're doing is above your abilities. Rust is usually the biggest motivation in that one, when people start realizing they have to replace their entire floors and their trunks and their quarter panels, and it just gets overwhelming. Well, this car actually has a little bit of rust, but it's a really solid car, so that's not really holding me back too much. There's a couple spots, but it's nothing I can't do, so that's not my problem. Now here's the other thing, and this is what my problem was. Back when I was healthy, I was able to work on this as much as I wanted to, in the midst of working on other people's cars at that time, because I had my auto body business here. This car was going to go to SEMA. That was my plan. I had actually gotten invited to SEMA. So I was going to try and, get all the vendors to help me out and blah blah blah, and get a bunch of money hopefully thrown at me. That's always the dream. Most of the time you barely get enough from those things to put the car together, but that's a whole nother story. But unfortunately, when I hurt myself, I just couldn't do the car the way I needed to in the time limit I had. But the reason why it's stayed like this is because I had dreams of making this just a beautiful show car that still was a good running driving car, so when I was done with the shows I could drive it, which that actually costs you more than just doing a show car, because if you're just towing the thing around and it has to start for a few minutes at the most and then shut off or be able to roll around, you'd be surprised of the cars out there that look just gorgeous but barely move. But getting off track here, but my problem is I kept wanting that. Well, I read an article, and I actually taped it to the side of my car. You can see it right there, that piece of white paper, and I'll get you closer to it. Like I said, I put that piece of paper there quite a while ago, but just a little bit ago I set that box there. And the reason I put that paper on there was so that I could see it and it would remind me, hey, you need to get this done. But then I found myself putting this box here, and I thought, you know what, that box isn't far from covering that up. And what happens when that gets covered up? No motivation again. And what it says is, what good's a muscle car rotting in your, and I put garage, he put yard, because you're going to fix it up someday. Fix it enough to get it street worthy and use it. Austin Griggs. And I want to thank you, Austin Griggs, because you did somewhat put a burr under my saddle, so to speak. because it made me realize that this car no longer needs to be a perfect show car that, you know, gets trailered around and never does anything with it until after it's all done doing it. This car just needs to be a good street driver, really. I wouldn't mind making it a weekend track type thing where I can go, you know, I'm kind of more of a drag racing sort of guy, but I wouldn't mind trying one of those road rally type things, although those are pretty expensive to do around here anyway. But you know, I would like it to handle and run and drive pretty well. Be able to, you know, hot rod it a little bit. It's still going to have some custom touches to it, but it's not going to be perfect. It'll be maybe nicer than the normal street car, but it won't be so nice that I'll be scared to use it. So like I said, the things that tend to make project cars look like this is the fact that in several ways you get in over your head. Like I said, first of all, you get all excited about the project and it just kind of dwindles and fizzles away. Second, you end up over your head. You just can't physically do the work yourself, and it has to be hired to done, which first and second reasons both end up going here, and usually that's money. Money plays a big part, and don't kid yourself. Even if you buy a fairly nice driver, more than likely once you start tearing things apart, you're going to have several hundreds if not thousands of dollars into these cars if you want them to look decent. And that's decent. You will have thousands if you want it to be a show-stopping car. And the third, like I said, like me, is you just have way too big of plans for the ability to get it done. And because you have those plans in your head, and this is my deal, I had all these plans, and if you can't have it, you just let it sit because you can't get it done the way you want it. Screw that. I'm done not having it the way I want it. I want to just have this thing a nice driving car that I can enjoy. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that and got something out of it. Now get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master none. You all have a good one.